This is my first persuasive speech for Speech Class 111. I'm Austin Endig. Whether it came from an animal on a fur farm or an animal trapped in the wild, every fur coat, trinket, or bit of trim caused the animal tremendous suffering and took away a life. Animals on fur farms spend their entire life confined in cramped, tiny cages with little or no food or water. The farmers use the cheapest and cruelest ways of killing methods available, including suffocation, electrocution, gas, and poison. More than half the U.S. furs come from China, where millions of dogs and cats are bludgeoned to death and often skinned alive for their fur. Chinese fur is often deliberately mislabeled so that you have no idea where your fur is coming from. Animals who are trapped in the wild suffer for days and suffer blood loss, shock, dehydration, frostbite, gangrene, and attacks from predators. They may be caught in steel jaw traps that clamp down on their legs and often cutting to the bone. Coney bear traps, which crush their necks with 90 pounds of pressure per square inch, or water set traps, which leave beavers, muskrats, and other animals struggling for more than 9 agonizing minutes before drowning. During the annual Canadian seal slaughter, tens of thousands of baby harp seals are shot or repeatedly bludgeoned with clubs until they die. Also in Canada, hundreds of black bears are shot at point-blank range or caught in traps and left to suffer for days, so their skins can be used to make hats for Queen Elizabeth and the Royal Guard regents. Luckily, there's no need to be cruel to stay warm and look cool. Cruelty-free fabrics like faux furs are available in stores everywhere, and PETA continues to work with designers for clothing realtors to encourage them to sell animal-friendly fabrics. The animals used for furs are bears, seals, raccoons, rabbits, minks, foxes, dogs, cats, chinchillas, and beavers. This comes from PETA.org. Each year, the fur industry kills over 50 million animals for fashion, not including rabbits. The number of animals it takes to make a fur coat. It takes 12 to 15 lynxes, 10 to 15 wolves, 15 to 20 foxes, 60 to 80 minks, 27 to 30 raccoons, 10 to 12 beavers, and 60 to 100 squirrels. The fur trim industry is working on a whole new line with no more full-length coats. They just use the trim on the collars and the sleeves. This is worse than making the long coats because so many more animals are killed because since it's just the collar and trim, they don't really care so much about the quality of the fur. So many more animals get killed, and it's usually violenter, and it's a horrible, horrible thing. Before they are skinned alive and yanked from their cages, they are thrown on the ground and bludgeoned. They had a reporter from Animal Protection East International Foundation film one of these fur farms, and they went in for several days and filmed, and the footage that came back was sickening. When the fur is finally peeled off the animal's heads, their hairless, bloody bodies are thrown into a pile of those who have gone before them. Some are still alive, breathing in ragged gasps and blinking slowly. Some animals' hearts are still beating 5 to 10 minutes after that they are skinned. One investigator reported a skinned raccoon dog in a heap of carcasses who had enough strength to lift his head and stare into the camera just before he died. There was a picture, but I couldn't show it in my speech. It was a picture of a caught fox in a trap, used for catching animals. The animals are stuck in a trap for hours, and before days, the trapper comes to pick them up. Some animals try to chew and bite off their own limbs just to get out of the trap. That sure speaks volumes about the pain that they must be in to try and get out of that trap. There are much more graphic photos than this type of thing, but I just can't stomach looking at them, and they break my heart. When an animal finally is killed, it's not quick and painless. The trapper's main priority is the fur. The objective is to kill the animal without damaging the fur, which leads to especially cruel methods of killing them. This comes from simpatico.ca. The biggest enemy of fur wearers and animal rights group is PETA. They got a lot of respect and publicity from their campaign, "I'd rather go naked than wear fur." This is when they find celebrities to pose nude and for photo shoots that are against fur. They use high-profile celebrities like Charlize Theron, Pamela Anderson, Paul McCartney's ex-wife Heather Mills to speak out against the torture of animals in the same fashion in the name of fashion. PETA has scored victories in getting major realtors like Topshop, Forever 21, and J. Crew to stop selling fur items. They scored masses by pelting Paris Hilton with flower bombs when she wore fur when she was in London. This comes from kidsworld.com. The use of fur is cruel and terrible, and I hope that you never wear it, and if you see anybody wearing it, you should say something because it's not right. Thank you.